The man she underestimated, a Ghanaian story of betrayal, suspense, and hidden wealth. In Ghana, people like to say, the one you call ordinary is somebody's prayer point. But Araba, she didn't just ignore this proverb. She folded it and used it like GTP cloth. This is the story of how she betrayed a man who was quietly sitting on wealth so deep, even her ancestors would have fainted if they knew. And the consequences? Premium, high definition, 4K regret. Kojo was the kind of man who didn't talk plenty. He believed actions spoke louder than words, especially when the words were, "Send me Momo." He was gentle, hard-working, and humble to a fault. He dressed simply, spoke softly, and minded his business like it paid him salary. Araba, on the other hand, was a walking soft life application form. She wanted luxury, attention, and men who smelled like expensive cologne and bad decisions. Kojo loved her deeply. Araba loved the idea of being loved, but she stayed with him because he was stable, loyal, and always available, like MTN network on a good day. He loved Araba with his whole chest. Meanwhile, Araba loved Kojo with her convenience. Kojo would bring her breakfast, Araba would bring him stress. But Kojo didn't mind. Love had turned him into a volunteer. One day, Araba started acting strange. Her phone suddenly had more passwords than the Bank of Ghana vault. She'd smile at her screen like she was receiving airtime from heaven. She'd dress up for errands that somehow required full makeup, perfume, and heels. Kojo noticed, but he didn't confront her. He just watched quietly. The way a cat watches a mouse that thinks it's safe. Suspense was building. Even the ceiling fan could feel it. Nee arrived like a bad plot twist. Tall, flashy, and driving a Camry that had seen more women than a hair salon. He spoke with confidence that wasn't backed by anything. But Araba didn't care. The car alone had already scrambled her common sense. Soon she started treating Kojo like a side quest. She'd cancel dates, ignore calls, and give excuses so weak even a toddler wouldn't believe them. Kojo remained calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that makes you wonder if he knows something you don't. Spoiler, he did. The night everything snapped one Friday, Araba told Kojo she was going for women's fellowship. Meanwhile, she was going for Nee's fellowship, which involved 0 prayers and maximum sin. Kojo simply said, "Okay, be safe." But his eyes said, "I'm about to graduate from this nonsense." He followed her, quietly, patiently, like a detective in a Ghanaian telenovela. He watched her enter Nee's apartment. He didn't cry, he didn't shout, he just nodded like, "Ah, so this is the syllabus." Then he left. Suspense level. Nollywood meets Kumawood meets Netflix. The confrontation that shook the neighborhood happened 2 days later, when Kojo showed up at Araba's house with food, jollof, chicken, and heartbreak. He knocked. Araba opened the door wearing Nee's oversized t-shirt, the official uniform of betrayal. Before she could speak, Nee shouted from inside, "Baby, is that the pizza guy?" Kojo blinked slowly. Even his eyelashes were disappointed. He said only one sentence. "Araba, may life reward you according to your deeds." Then he walked away. No drama, no insults, just a calm exit that felt scarier than shouting. 2 months later, Ghana shook. Kojo was suddenly everywhere. Newspapers, social media, business blogs. Turns out the simple man Araba cheated on was actually the only son of a billionaire industrialist, the new CEO of a massive family company, owner of a brand new mansion in East Legon, driver of a Range Rover that could buy Nee's Camry 12 times. Araba saw the news and nearly fainted. Her spirit left her body, went to heaven, asked for a refund, and came back. She tried to call him. Number blocked. She tried to visit him. Security said, "Madam, please step aside. You're blocking the rich people's gate." Her heartbreak was now a full-time job. Nee eventually ghosted her. Apparently she was too emotional. Imagine being dumped by a man whose only asset is tinted windows. Araba's life became a documentary titled, "How I Lost a Billionaire Because of a Camry." Every time she saw a Range Rover, her heart did brrr. Every time she heard Kojo's name, her soul did somersault. She'd lie in bed whispering, "God, please give me one more chance. I promise I'll behave like Proverbs 31." but heaven was on silent mode. In Ghana, don't underestimate quiet people. Some of them are sitting on wells so deep, even Google Maps can't locate the bottom. And don't betray a good person. You might think you're upgrading, but sometimes you're just choosing premium regret with lifetime warranty. Ever since Kojo's billionaire reveal, Araba's life had turned into a motivational quote gone wrong. She woke up every morning with one mission: Operation Win Kojo Back. But life said, "My dear, sit down." Her neighbors noticed the change. She used to walk with confidence like she owned the street. Now she walked like someone who owed the street money. Even her mother started praying unusual prayers: "Lord, restore my daughter's destiny, and if possible, restore Kojo too." The first attempt, the accidental encounter. Araba decided to accidentally bump into Kojo at a supermarket in East Legon. She dressed like she was going for Miss Ghana auditions. Makeup flawless, wig laid, perfume strong enough to confuse angels. She spotted Kojo in the cereal aisle, looking like a man who had never known suffering. She approached him with a smile so fake it needed a receipt. Araba. Kojo. Long time. Kojo. Oh, you're still in Ghana? Her smile cracked like cheap foundation. She tried to hug him. Kojo dodged like a goalkeeper at AFCON. Kojo. Please, social distancing. Some people's intentions are contagious. The supermarket workers pretended not to laugh, but their spirits were rolling on the floor. The second attempt, the prayer warrior strategy. Araba decided to go spiritual. She joined a prayer camp. She fasted. She prayed. She sowed seeds. She even told the prophet, "Man of God, I want restoration." The prophet looked at her and said, "My daughter, some things are not restoration. They are punishment." Even heaven refused to help. The third attempt, the family meeting. One Sunday afternoon, Araba's aunties gathered like Avengers in front of Kojo's gate. They wore kaba and slit, tied their headscarves tight, and marched to Kojo's mansion. The security guard nearly called the police. Auntie Mansa stepped forward. "Young man, we are here to beg on behalf of our daughter." Kojo smiled politely. "Auntie, I appreciate your effort, but I'm not a lost item. I don't need to be found." Auntie Mansa fainted dramatically. Nobody caught her. The fourth attempt, the apology text. Araba finally sent Kojo a long emotional message that evening. It was so long even MTN asked, "Are you sure you want to send this?" She wrote paragraphs, chapters, a whole novel. Kojo replied with one sentence: "Thank you, I've healed. Please heal too." Her soul packed its bags. The final attempt. The birthday ambush. Kojo's birthday came. Araba decided to go big. She bought a cake the size of a small fridge. She wore a red dress that screamed, "I'm trying too hard." She arrived at his mansion uninvited. The security guard sighed like someone who had seen too much. "Madam, you again?" Kojo came outside. He looked calm, expensive, and uninterested. Araba knelt dramatically. Araba. "Kojo, please, give me one more chance." Kojo. "Araba, please stand up. You're blocking the gate. My guests are coming." She refused. Then Kojo's new girlfriend walked out. Elegant, classy, glowing like she had been moisturized by angels. Araba's spirit left her body. Kojo gently said, "Araba, you didn't lose me because you weren't beautiful. You lost me because you weren't loyal." Even the wind paused. Araba went home and cried like a generator running on low fuel. She learned 3 painful lessons. Lesson 1. When you betray a good person, you don't lose them immediately. You lose them when life upgrades them. Lesson 2. Some second chances are not denied by people. They're denied by destiny. Lesson 3. Never trade a future king for a man whose only asset is tinted windows. In Ghana, we say, if you throw away your old cooking pot because it looks dull, don't cry when the new one burns your food. Araba threw away gold for glitter. Now she was living with consequences that refused to mind their business. Viewers, if you enjoyed this story, remember, don't trade gold for glitter. Glitter fades. Gold glows forever. Like, comment, and subscribe for more Ghanaian drama and life lessons.